We did it, everyone! Welcome to the 148th Kentucky Derby, or the first Libations and Little Fat. Now, for those that followed me numerous times over the last couple of months/years, you might remember the cool kid, Luca, has now been replaced by Little Fat. So, we're going to see how this goes, and I'm talking like this because the Kentucky Derby, you talk really fast, like you're announcing. And so far so good, he's having a great time. My off-screen assistant is going to try to keep the baby happy. We'll see what happens here, and let's get started. So, as some of you know, but maybe most of you don't know, today is the 148th running of the Kentucky Derby. Do I care about the Kentucky Derby? No. However, I do enjoy watching the day of excitement that makes all the horses seem really personable. So that's why I want to do this today. The drink of choice, as some of you might know, is the, say it, mint julep. Now, before we talk about how to make the mint julep, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the mint julep itself. It dates back to 200 AD, where it was prescribed for shortness of breath, which is great because I had shortness of breath, not asthma, shortness of breath, as well as stomach issues, and this originated in Persia. And Little Fat's not as fun as Cool Kid, but we're going to keep going anyways. And I'm going to speak nice and loud so you can hear me. Now, the mint julep reached America in the 18th century, and thanks to the import taxes, the original recipe, which was rum and brandy, was replaced with bourbon. Now, the thing about bourbon was it was known as the poor man's drink, but now it was the fancy man's drink because it was the ingredient that was taking up all of the cocktails, especially the mint julep. In 1939, the mint julep became the official drink of the Derby. Over 10,000 bottles of bourbon are consumed during Kentucky Derby weekend, and the mint julep. Hey, okay. Let's put the hat right there, okay. Okay, we're just going to put the hat nice and far back. And the mint julep has preserved the Kentucky bourbon legacy. Now, maybe a first ever, I'm going to actually hold the assistant while we're doing this cocktail video. Thank you, Vanna. So, for those who have not met Little Fat, here he is. And he is little and a little fat. Thank you, Julius. I took off the hat, but he still is crying, so I'm going to hold him. Or maybe my assistant can hold him and periodically show him in the camera. Yes? Thank you. Alright, so here we go. Now, there are a lot of different recipes for the mint julep, and the one I'm going to use today is kind of made by me and kind of not made by me. So here we go. Some of you may know that I grow fresh mint in my backyard, and of course the mint julep's got to have the mint in it. So if you grow your own, great. If you buy it from Publix or whatever grocery store is near you, not as great, but that's okay. Take your infamous shaker. How many leaves do you put in? Who gives a shit? 1, 2, 3. Can we get Little Fat back in here? No one wants to really watch what I do. They care about the baby. And there's Little Fat. Hold him there. And we are back. Cocktails with Little Fat is going off really, really well. So I was talking about the mint, and here we're going to do with the mint. And we were on leaf 3. For those that have come back with us, thank you. For those who have not signed back on, forget you, because you're going to miss a great little cocktail. Mint 4, 5, 6, and the whole thing. Great. Alright, now a little secret that I like to do that not many people like to do, but someone taught me this at some point, is take your simple syrup. No, this is not grenadine. It was once grenadine, but simple syrup. Add a little bit to the mint. Just a little bit. And we're going to muddle. Muddle means stir with sensation. Can we get Little Fat back in here? Thank you. Maybe not so close to the camera this time. There we go. Maybe just hold him there. That'd be great. Yeah. Stir, 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 stir. Okay. Now, some recipes say you should just caress the mint, but I like to muddle the mint to get the flavor into the cup. Now we can add the ice into our shaker. And for those of us that have been with me since day one, you remember that I have a food scale. Whoa, bye-bye, Rhino. And the food scale is going to help us with measuring the right amount of the ingredients in the cocktail. And you should also have a food scale because it's good to measure macronutrients. How many ounces go into a mint julep? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know? Speak up. 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 4 ounce. Who wants to guess the amount of ounces? No one. Okay, I'm going to put in 3 ounces of this High West whiskey. And my assistant has chosen this High West whiskey because she said that when she went to the liquor store, a lot of people recommended it. Correct? And it is average. But it is better than the spiritless, non-alcoholic bourbon. Don't ever get that. It is not good. So, we are going with 1 ounce. 2 ounces. Alright, we'll just go with 2 ounces of whiskey. Bourbon is fine if you have the money to pay for brandy or rum to be really old-fashioned, like in the 200 AD. Great. Next. Simple syrup. Now this ingredient is going to make or break the drink. How sweet do you like the drink? You like it very sweet, Little Fat? Yes you do. There's no milk in this though, so you won't like this. So I'm going to add about 1 ounce of simple syrup. Anybody know how to make simple syrup? Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Nothing. So simple syrup is made by boiling water and adding sugar. 1-to-1 ratio. Great. Here we go. Now, my assistant said I already added simple syrup. However, I only added a little bit of simple syrup, which helps with the muddling process to get the flavors into the cocktail. But thank you very much. Alright, so we have our ice, we have our mint, we have our bourbon. And for today's Shake It Specially, we're going to do a little jockey on a horse shake. Ah! And here we go. Now before you pour it into the glass, you want the glass to have crushed ice. So here is some ice. My refrigerator does not crush the ice anymore, so I have this rolling pin and I'm going to crush the ice. Voila, the ice is crushed. And it's melted. Make sure your else doesn't melt because it's going to be watered down. Now we have our ice, we have our drink. Make sure you pour it nice and high to look like you're professional. And the final ingredient of the mint julep is carbonated water. Now, some of you might think carbonated water, Shane, that's very, very expensive. However, if you buy one of these drink mates or soda streams, you can just take some water in this special fancy thing. Twist it. And watch what happens. Oh, it carbonates the water. Woo! Now make sure you get the bubbles out. And just top off the mint julep with a little bit of carbonated water. Not too much because it's going to taste very watered down. And finally, woo! Add the mint and the mint julep is the winner. Cheers! Thank you all for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties and sorry if you couldn't understand me, but this is how they announce the horse race. Hopefully you'll see us again in the near future, and if not, it's been fun. How do I turn this thing off? I don't know.